You watch a cat walk to the edge of the river. The water is not clean. It has never been clean here. Thousands of people upstream use this water for everything. You have seen what this water does to humans who drink it. Fever, stomach collapse, days of suffering, sometimes death. And now you watch the cat lower its head and drink. Long, slow, deliberate drinking. From water that should make it sick. Then it lifts its head, blinks once, and walks away. Nothing happens to it. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. And you have been trying to understand why for your entire life. To understand what just happened, you need to know who she is. She has lived beside this river her entire life. Her mother did too. Her ancestors lived beside the Nile for 10,000 years before her. Every generation drinking from the same water you just watched her drink, and every generation surviving while the humans around them sometimes did not. The Egyptians noticed this. They noticed it very early on. They began to watch cats the way you just watched this one, trying to understand what was different about an animal that could do this. They could not have known what was happening inside the cat's body, but they knew the result, and the result was impossible to ignore. They began leaving food near the granaries to keep the cats close. Not because they loved cats, but because cats survived things humans couldn't. But go back to the riverbank. Watch her more carefully this time. Before she drinks, she does something you almost missed. She stops. She lowers her nose to the water surface first. She is reading it, the way you read a room when you enter it. A cat's sense of smell is 14 times stronger than yours. She can detect specific chemical compounds in that water you cannot. She is assessing whether what is in the water exceeds a threshold. And if this kind of story makes you see the world differently, subscribing helps us make more. Now follow the water as it enters her body. The first thing it meets is not what you would expect. Her saliva is doing something before the water even reaches her stomach. Cat saliva contains compounds that begin breaking down certain pathogens immediately. This is the first line of defense, and most people never know it exists. The water moves further down into a stomach built differently from yours. A cat's stomach acid is significantly more concentrated than a human's stomach's. What survives a human stomach often does not survive hers. The pathogens in that Nile water are meeting something they were not prepared for. They evolved to survive river water, not a cat's stomach environment. But some pathogens are resilient, and some do survive her stomach. And this is where her immune system picks up the story. A cat's immune system has been trained by 10,000 years of this water. It recognizes pathogens from this water, the way you recognize faces. The pathogens that survive the stomach meet immune cells ready for them. The immune cells know these organisms. They have seen them before. They were briefed on them before she was even born. This is called acquired immunity. And cats have built it specifically for this water. While the pathogens are still trying to understand where they are, the cat's body has already finished dealing with them. Back in ancient Egypt, the humans watching cats noticed something else. Cats always chose moving water over still water when both were available. The Egyptians copied this. They began building channels to keep water moving. Moving water carries fewer pathogens than standing water is simply true. The cats knew this through instinct. The Egyptians learned it through observation, and the Egyptians who followed the cat's water choices got sick less often. This is part of why cats became sacred in ancient Egypt, not just because they caught rats, but because they seemed to understand water. Killing a cat in ancient Egypt was punishable by death. The penalty reflects how much the Egyptians depended on what cats did. And at the center of all of it was this one simple fact. The cat could drink what the human could not, and walk away fine. But here is the part of this story that almost nobody tells you. The cat is not invincible, and dirty water is not always safe for her. There are pathogens in some water sources that will make her very sick, specifically pathogens she has no generational memory of encountering before. Her resistance is specific, not general. It is built for what she evolved. Beside, this is why modern cats should not drink from just any dirty water source. The Nile is what made her what she is. Not all water is the Nile. Her body is a record of one specific place and one specific water, and she carries that record in every cell of her body. Still today, every domestic cat alive today descended from that riverbank in Egypt. Think about the cat, wherever it drinks from, it does the same thing. It lowers its nose first, it reads the water before it commits. That behavior is 10,000 years old, and it still works exactly as designed. Your cat is not being picky. It is being precise. It is reading chemical compounds you cannot detect at all. Chlorine treatment chemicals, plastic compounds, temperature changes everything. When your cat refuses a water bowl, it is not making a lifestyle choice. It is running the same assessment. The Nile cats ran 3,000 years ago. And if the water fails the assessment, the cat simply does not drink. A behavior that kept her ancestors alive is keeping her alive too. Back at the Nile, the cat from the beginning is still there. She grooms her paws with the same tongue that just touched that water. The observer is still watching, still trying to understand what they just saw. They will tell someone about this tonight, around a fire, and the person they tell will watch a cat at water the next day, watching differently, because now they know what to look for. This is how ancient humans learned everything they knew about animals. Not from books, not from laboratories, just from watching and remembering and telling. The cat did not know she was teaching anyone anything. She was just being what 10,000 years of survival made her. The river does not bother her. The pathogens do not bother her. The sun is moving across the sky and she has things to do. She moves into the papyrus, grass at the river's edge, and disappears. The observer watches the grass where she went for a long moment, then looks at the water, then looks at their own hands. The same water, the same river, the same morning, two completely different outcomes from the same single source. Because 10,000 years of that river is written into her and not into you.